Cajun here with something a little different. So the wife and I had baby Cajun about 2.5 months ago. And we wanted to start a new series that showcased some of the cool baby gear we found across the internet. Today we're going to focus on the Veer Cruiser and some of the infant specific accessories that we got with that. This isn't a promotional video. We paid full retail price for everything. So with that, I think we should just dive in. So you can see here, we've got a lot of boxes. Only some of these boxes are what we're going to cover today, but in follow-up videos, we're going to go over everything that we've got. We've also got a handful of other items from different vendors that we're going to cover, and some special edition stuff for the Veer Cruiser that we're going to look at as well. All right, so let's get rid of the stuff we're not covering today. All right, so now that we've got that out of the way, we're going to focus on just these couple of items. So this is the Veer Cruiser itself, what comes in the box, and then a couple of these specific infant items and attachments. One of the pieces that we have in here, we have to add in. It's not specific to the infant, but it works with all of the pieces. All right, so this is the Veer Cruiser. This thing retails for $5.99, and yes, that's a steep price. But once we showcase this thing, you're gonna get a really good idea of why it's so expensive and why it's absolutely worth it. I'm gonna move this guy out of the way. All right, so next up is the infant car seat adapter. We have the Britax version of this because we have the Britax car seat. It comes in all the major brands. You can head over to their website and check the list of brands that they have. Just remember, when you do purchase one of these, to select the brand of car seat you have specifically. All right. Next up, we have the nap system. This is $79, and it comes with a bug net, and then the system that basically allows the infant to lay down in the wagon and lay down flat and be able to take a nap, hang out in there flat without having to be strapped into something. This is really cool. We're gonna go over it. We really like this a lot and recommend it. Last but not least, the retractable canopy. So this is required for the nap system to work completely. This is why we're going to talk about this today. It's not specific to any of the infant pieces, but it does help the nap system to work and kind of complete the whole system. This retails for $49. One thing I want to note about this, and I'll make a comment about it when we showcase these again, is if you plan on buying other colors, they are full canopies. So just check, make sure whenever you're getting ready to check out, if you're deciding you're going to buy different side panels, and I'll talk about that when we have the wagon up here, and you're going to get canopies to match, buy those. You don't have to buy the standard canopy for the colored canopies. The colored canopies will be the whole system. Okay, so I'm going to move all these boxes out of the way. We're going to bring in all of the things that came out of the box, and we're going to set up the Cruiser, and then talk about the Cruiser, and then talk about the accessories as we add them on. This is everything that comes in the Veer Cruiser box. We've got the Cruiser itself, you have your 2 front wheels, your 2 rear wheels, the rear fenders, 2 cup holders, and a snack tray. Alright, so one thing we want to talk about is these wheels. The wheels, both the front and the back wheel, are solid plastic wheels. They're very durable, very robust. On the back wheels, you'll see this kind of little pattern with holes in it. This is for the braking system. So there's actually a pin on the wagon that falls into place here and locks the wheels into place. Very robust locking system as well. One thing I want to note, you can see, it's really hard to see in the video, but there's a cover here that's normally yellow with the Veer Cruiser. We have another color kit that we've purchased, and I have replaced these with black. They're a little bit of a pain to get in and out, so we're going to leave them black. Normally they're yellow. Alright, so now we're going to set up the wagon. First thing you want to put on are your rear fenders. Now, they have a right and a left in here, and what we want to do is, when you're looking at the wagon from the handle, that's going to be your left and your right. So I'm going to grab our right, our left goes here. And what you'll see is we've got 2 pins, 2 kind of notches here. And on the back where the rear axle is, we've got these 2 pins and this slit where the tab's going to line up in. So when we're putting these on, you're going to get these lined up, and you just kind of press them in, and they lock in place. So I'm going to pop on the other one real quick. And now we're going to move on to the rear wheels. So the rear wheels in the center axle has a button that will release the pin for this. All we got to do is lift up, push in that, and that slides right on in. It's the same way that it comes out. Push this in, the wheel comes right off. They're really easy to take on and off. We'll pop on the other rear wheel. And then for the front wheels, they're very simple. I'm going to stand this up. You don't have to, but it just makes it a little bit easier for me to showcase. You'll see the front, where the front pin goes. These just slide on in. Nothing to it. On the top of this axle here, there is a button as well, just like in the back. So we have a button here. This is the press and release to take the front wheels off. So that's how you can get these guys off. Oh, we're going to set the wagon down. Alright, so now we're going to walk through setting up the wagon for the first time. And this is what you'll do every time, because this basically is how the wagon's going to live whenever you break it down and store it, put it in the car or something like that. You get two pins, kind of two, I don't know what you'd call them, tabs on the front here on the handle itself. We're going to push up towards the main handle, and that'll release it and allow it to slide on up. So this locks into place here. And then we're going to fold up the two sides. And now we're going to grab the seats on the inside, and we're just going to push those into place. You hear them lock really well. Both seats are now locked into place. One of the really neat features about this Cruiser is the two seats are facing each other. So if you've got two kiddos that are, roughly toddler age, they're facing each other. You can see inside, we've got this basically kick panel for their feet that folds all the way down and gives them a place for their feet to go. So when they're sitting down, they have a place for their feet to hang in. Unlike most wagons where you're dealing with having to sit crisscross or they're having their knees up on their chest, this gives them a lot more comfortable seating position. The other great thing is we've got a 3-point harness inside to strap the kids in. They've got cute little cubbies to put in their toys and whatever else that they may put in here. It does have two little holes drilled in it, so if they do pour liquid in there, it's gonna go ahead and drain out. We've got these side pockets to store toys and miscellaneous things, and then the vented back to keep them nice and cool. So that's the main piece of the wagon. Everything is set up. We're gonna talk really quickly about the snack tray. So with the snack tray and all of your accessories that you're going to see on the wagon, we've got these pins that are, we've got one here and two on either side. All of your accessories are going to have this notch cut out in the handle to line them up. So you can see this notch here. We're going to line that up with the pin, and that just helps you secure these, makes it a little bit easier. You know where you're attaching it, you got it in the right spot. And you won't get that second click if you're not in the right spot. Boom. So we got that second click. This guy's in here. It's very sturdy, very stable. And we got snack tray and cup holder for each kiddo facing each other. It's really nice, really simple. Gives them a nice little place to put stuff and continue to play with whatever they're playing with. The next thing we're going to go on to is the cup holders. So these cup holders are very simple. They've got just a simple little ring here and a pull tab to get them on and off. We've got places for them to mount here, the front of the wagon, and the rear of the wagon. Now, I'll make a quick note. For us personally, we did buy a second set of these. We probably won't use them unless we break or lose one of these, because these are also attachment points for some of the extra accessories that come with the wagon. So you'll end up using these a lot more for other things if you're using accessories. We're going to pop these on really quickly. All right. One of the other neat features I'm going to talk about with this. So we've got your traditional wagon feel. When we pull up on this, this releases the handle for us to have that up and down. We can walk with it and pull it, or you can lock it in place. Personally, the wife and I really like walking with it here, and we just push it here and have the wagon kind of in between us. You can also push the wagon. It's very comfortable to push. We did a little bit of a jog pushing it. It's really easy to control. You just got to remember the wheels are closer to you and your fixed wheels are further from you. So when you go to make a turn, minor adjustments are going to be bigger adjustments when you're moving that direction. One of the other things, it does have an extendable handle, so you can pull off the release, extend the handle, and bring it back down. We're short enough, we don't really need it, but it is there. These also swivel just slightly, so if you do have it in this mode, they do swivel to keep your drink upright. The brake system on the front of the wagon is a big kick plate to lock it into place. And you'll hear those two pins locked into place on those rear wheels, and this thing really, it's not going anywhere. It slides a little because we're just on top of the kitchen table, and then it has a kick to release for the parking brake. And it releases. This rolls really, really smooth. We've gone around the neighborhood several times, both on uneven sidewalk, the road. It's really, really nice. The kid loves it. He has no issues with the little bit of rigidity in the wheels. That was one thing we were a little concerned with, is not having any give in the wheel system, whether or not the bumps were going to be a big deal for him. But it's comfortable, and he really seems to like it. One of the things I want to point out about this as well is you can see it's all aluminum frame. It's really heavy duty plastic all the way around it. It's very well made. Everything clicks into place and locks in really solid. This thing is really, really well built. All right, so we're back. After a brief interruption by Baby Cajun, we are going to now focus on the infant attachments. First, we're going to go over the car seat adapter. This guy is really simple. It comes in just 3 pieces. The other adapters may be slightly different. So if you get another one and it looks different, that's why. Again, the attachment is specific for the Britax car seat, but they all should be very, very similar. So we're gonna have this hole with the little kind of slot at the bottom. That's where the metal pin will slide into. The great thing is they've set these up. You don't have to force the pin in and try to get the rod in and line it up and all this stuff. Everything is really simple. They've got the... There it goes. Now it's locked in. So it shouldn't twist. It should be locked in. One of the things I want to talk about a little bit. For the Britax specifically, we've got a little gray dot on both sides. And that's going to face outside. So if we're putting it on this side, it's going to face forward. If we're putting it on this side, it's going to face back. And a note about that is this can go on the front or the back. And you'll notice you've got 2 little stitch marks here on the side panels, on both, again, the front and the back. And then there's going to be a pin right underneath it. So same thing, we're going to line up this notch with that pin. Make sure our gray dots are facing forward. All right, so one thing I want to know, we heard it click. This isn't all the way on. What we're looking for is a very specific little piece here. This gray piece is gonna have a green marking whenever we're fully locked in. So you'll see that green mark, that tells me that is completely locked in, and now we're secure and safe. So because the Britax allows for the car seat to go in either direction, this will allow us to have the kid sitting closer to the handle, facing forward or facing back. I'm gonna grab our car seat real quick, and I'm gonna show you that. The car seat pops in. I'm not gonna lock it in because it is a little, it's a little finicky to get it in and out. We kind of have to play with it, make sure it's locked, make sure it's secure before we put him in, and then when we're pulling it out, the release mechanism for the car seat is back here and it works the same. We kind of still have to fiddle with it to get it out, so I'm not gonna lock it in for right now just so we don't fight with it on camera. One of the nice things though, you can see the car seat lines up perfectly with the stroller. This is a really, really clean fit. It's really secure in here. We can also flip this around. And he can face this way. So it really is up to you which direction you want the kiddo to face. Our preference is to have this on the back side of the wagon and him facing forward. It's hard to do across the wagon. You come around. So again, our gray dots facing out. And this is our preferred setup. So we can walk with him here. He's a little bit closer to us because we're, roughly here, and he's sitting here facing us. If we're pulling or pushing the wagon, we can see him. It's not really, it's just a personal preference. There's no real specific reason for it or anything like that. It's just become a personal preference. So the next thing we're going to move on to is the retractable canopy. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this in this video, and we're going to come back to it again in the next video. Again, it's very useful for the nap system, and I'll show you why once we get it set up. Now, one thing about this is this piece does need to come off for the nap system to go in. So we'll take this guy off. We're also going to take off our snack tray. So the retractable canopy, again, all the mechanisms line up the same. Everything really pretty much just works the same. So we're going to find that forward pin. Get our canopy lined up. We're just a little off. All right. So on the back here, you've got these great little bungees with a little pull tab, grab tab with their logo on it, the Veer logo. And these are going to come around these accessory points like we were talking about earlier. So this is why cup holders really, they can go there, but it doesn't make sense because if you use any of the attachments, you're going to use this to secure them onto. So now this is a retractable canopy. Really simple, really chic. It retracts down almost kind of back flat to where the wagon is. It's a great little spot to provide some extra shade for the kid. And then on top, again, their great little pull tab with their logo on it. This can pull open. You got another vent for the kids. You can also see now down inside of it so we can look at the kid, and then it falls back on. It's got great little magnets inside, so they snap. They just magnet back on, and it's locked in there really good. So that's a retractable canopy. Now we're going to move on to the nap system. I'm going to lower the retractable canopy so it's easier to see everything. But one note I want to make really quick about the canopy. One of the things we've noticed is these have a tendency to be a little tight when it comes up and down. And so we've pulled this off and released it from the wagon. Haven't really had, as we've used them, haven't really had that issue a whole lot. But do just keep that in mind. When we first got them, they were a bit stiff. They popped off a whole bunch. Some of that, I may not have had it lined up perfectly or something like that. But as we've used them, we haven't really had any issues with them falling off again. So onto the nap system. Now the nap system comes in this great bag. And in the next video, we'll show you an attachment that allows you to basically carry everything. It's a little storage bin. It's phenomenal. But this guy comes with 3 pieces. So we've got their Veer bug net. So if you're gonna buy the nap system, you do not need to buy the bug net because this comes with one. So you don't have to buy the extra bug net. It comes with the actual pad for sleeping, so nice little soft side here. Got a little bit of stuff on it. And then on the back, it's got a place for you to take it out so you can wash the cover. The last piece of the nap system is kind of the spine, if you will. It bridges that gap where the feet go so that there's a smooth, flat surface and gives a place for this to lay. It also pads the sides all the way around, so you've got a little bit of extra padding. So you got two Velcro pieces that pop off, and then this guy just kind of opens up if your Velcro doesn't reattach. So when you get this open for the first time, you're going to want to flip it over and look underneath it. So underneath it, you've got these weird kind of, they were a bit confusing at first. I didn't really understand it, so I went and watched a video. But basically, this is gonna line up and create a spine. So these sides snap off. I'm gonna rotate these over and then snap them back in. And this is gonna be what bridges the gap across the two seats. So let's pop this guy in. Fits in pretty easily. Again, we've got the great bungees with the Veer logo pull tab. So we're gonna pop these in. We're gonna put them on the little attachment points on all four sides. One of the great things to note about this too is you'll see on the front, you can put at least 2, maybe 3 of these on a single point, and they do go on there well, and they stay on there really well. So you don't have to worry about picking and choosing which attachment you're going to have and things like that. One other thing really nice to note, again, we were talking about the engineering of this wagon earlier. This thing is really, really well thought out, well designed. They have magnets placed inside the canvas sides and inside of here to keep the sides up. So the sides got little magnet pieces that keep it up, and everything stays where it needs to be. So we're going to drop the pad in. This gives a great little surface for your little one to lay down on, sleep in. We've had our infant, we took it around the block, we've had him fall asleep while in the wagon and hanging out, and he loved it. He passed out, he had no issues with it. We actually brought it inside, just kind of wheeled the wagon in the living room and kept an eye on him for a little while he slept. It was wonderful. The next piece is getting the bug net on, and this is why I specifically pulled out the retractable canopy. So this has a zipper in the front. It may be hard to see in the video, but once we put the bug net on, it may be easier. The bug net just zips in, so you'll end up with a zipper side. This just zips in to the canopy itself. And then on each side, you've got a little piece of Velcro. So outside of the canopy and the inside of the bug net have a little piece of Velcro that help keep this all the way down. I'm gonna pull that up all the way, and then on the very opposite end, you've got a piece of bungee that's gonna come over the seat release. So we'll pop that over, we'll dress the two sides, and then here on the inside, you've got a more little piece of elastic that's gonna come around these tabs where we were lining up the accessories. And this will hold the bug net in place all the way around. Now, we've noticed this doesn't provide a ton of protection from the sun, but it does provide a tiny bit. We've gone around the block a handful of times with them in it with the bug net up. It does protect against mosquitoes and things like that, so depending on where you are, if the mosquitoes are a big deal, this might be a really nice thing to set up. Another really nice thing is, as far as getting them in and out, it's really easy to come off, and you can just kind of drape it up and over so you can get access to your infant. I'm gonna walk through taking all of this down, packing it back up, and then showing you what the actual cruiser looks like fully packed up as well. So we'll just pull the Velcro off both sides. We're gonna unzip lug nut. This very simply comes out. The pad folds up really nicely. And then this, all you gotta do is take off your 4 corners. And then remember, when we put the spine in, we'll have to flip this back over and undo that so it folds. And then this just very simply, what I do is I bring the 2 sides in. These will just kind of fold in on themselves automatically. Roll these in. I put the Velcro here, and then this folds back on itself. And then you got your other piece of Velcro to hold it in place. It all goes back in the bag really nicely. When it comes out of the box, it does have these little stoppers on it for both sides if you'd like to keep using that. I just know personally we'll never use them. We will take them off once, leave them in the bag, put them down somewhere and lose them. We're just not going to use them. So I'm not even going to bother trying to keep them and put them on and remember them or anything like that. But these just go back in the bag. And unlike most things you buy, this does go back in the bag really easily. This, I don't know, we probably should fold it, but I'm just taking to stuffing it in here. And your whole system is set up. Now, if you don't buy the extra, the basket for the back, you do have 2 little bungee loops that you can attach this guy to the back of the wagon. Again, on those same little attachment points. Oops. And you can carry it on the back of the wagon. So this is an option for you if you're not interested in the other accessory. But please join us for that next video. That thing is really cool, and I think you're going to want to get it. Canopies, kind of the same way. We're going to take off the bungees off the back. And then it's just a matter of pulling up the handle, and this comes right off. Really simple, really easy. Now to break down the wagon, you obviously have to have all of the extra accessories and bits and pieces out of it. And then once you're done with that, this comes down really simple. So I mentioned really quickly the seat release. In the back middle and the front middle, there's a seat release. You just push up on that. That releases the 2 seats in. The sides fold down. And then we're going to use these same tabs here. We're going to push up. And this will fold back down. You hear it click. And that means the handle is locked in place. Now this handle is designed to be able to carry the whole wagon just by the handle. It's a little heavy. I think it's like 30 pounds-ish. So, you know, it's a lot to carry by this one handle. But it does pack down really nicely. It's very, very sturdy. You gotta have the brake on. You know, it sits really nice like this as well. So if you got it somewhere in the corner of the house or you want to store it like this, it does sit really well like this. One thing I do want to note now that we've got the wagon standing up on its side. Let's say your kids are a bit shorter and they don't like their feet dangling. This bottom plate does move in, as you can see here. And so if you want to figure out where your kids' feet need to sit, get this where it needs to be. Figure out where it is, and then if you look really closely on the top here, there's screws. So these are set screws that'll lock this in place so it doesn't move up or down anymore, and your kids' feet will now stay. Versus if you didn't lock it in place, you know, next time you deploy the wagon, there's a good chance it's gonna pop all the way down, and then your kids are complaining because their feet are dangling. That's everything that we have for the Cruiser and the Infant attachments. We're going to be bringing another video here very shortly with all of the rest of the attachments and another piece that Veer provides. that's not really part of the Wagon, but it's an accessory that they have that we really enjoy. And then we have a limited edition panel set that we're going to show you how to put on and where you can get it. Stay tuned for some more videos, guys. If you liked what you saw, leave some comments. If you've got questions, leave some comments. I will try to answer any questions y'all have, or at least point you in the right direction. Again, none of this stuff was promotion or anything like that. We paid full retail price. We just really wanted to share our experience that we've had with the Wagon and just tell everybody about it, because I think it's one of the nicest, neatest systems we've seen out there. And we've looked at a handful of different Wagons. I've looked at a ton of reviews on this thing, and it is top notch. Thanks again for watching. This is Cajun, and we'll see you in the next one.